Hello everyone, my name is Katie. I'll be presenting for Group 4 today, Week 5 in Advanced Social Psychology, Psych 512 BO4 at Liberty University Online, taught by Dr. Gomez. All materials used for this presentation are from required texts. References are available on the last page of this presentation. The assigned readings for this week covered the topics of social influence and group processes. The 5 main concepts we'll focus on today within these topics will be conformity, obedience, group fundamentals, group performance, and conflict. Studies suggest that humans imitate one another automatically. This is referred to as automatic mimicry. The theory that social influence depends on the strength, immediacy, and number of source persons relative to target persons is known as social impact theory. Conformity is the tendency of people to change their perceptions, opinions, and behaviors in ways that are consistent with group norms. Why people conform come down to 2 reasons: a need to be right or a fear of ostracism. The 2 types of social influences are known as private conformity, which is known as true conversion, not just changing overt behavior, but minds as well, and public conformity, which refers to more of a superficial change in behavior. Minority influence is the process by which dissenters produce change within a group. Our textbook showed how resisting the pressures to conform may be difficult, but it is possible. For instance, one of the assigned articles for this week by Reese and Wallace showed that an adolescent with drinking friends will be less likely to use alcohol if that individual also has a minority of non-drinking friends. Compliance is when others make direct requests of us in the hope that we will comply. Obedience, then, is behavior change produced by the commands of authority. A quote I found interesting in our textbook by C.P. Snow states that far more and far more hideous crimes have been committed in the name of obedience than have ever been committed in the name of rebellion. Milgram's research study on obedience to the authority was a great example of this. This study shows 3 factors of importance: authority figure, proximity of victim, and procedure all have an impact. More recent studies show that obedience in the 21st century have declined but have not been extinguished. With an understanding of these topics, we now know that rebellion is sometimes a good thing. Studies suggest that collective rebellion is what gives individuals the courage to rebel. A group is a set of individuals who interact over time and have shared fate, goals, or identity. The 3 group features include group roles, norms, and cohesiveness. Group cohesiveness is defined as the extent to which forces push group members close together, such as through intimacy, unity, and commitment to group goals. Group cohesiveness can obviously be impacted by culture. Social facilitation and social loafing are two processes that impact group behaviors. Social facilitation is a process whereby the presence of others enhances performance on easy tasks, but impairs performance on difficult tasks. Social loafing is a group-produced reduction in individual output on tasks where contributions are pooled. The individualization is the loss of a person's sense of individuality and the reduction of normal constraints against behavior. The black sheep effect was studied by Hawley, Hosch, and Bovaird, which is one of our assigned articles to read this week. Their studies suggest a relationship between student athletic status and judgments of deviant student athletes. Process loss and process gain. Process loss is defined as the reduction in group performance due to obstacles created by group processes, such as problems of coordination and motivation. Process gain is defined as the increase in group performance so that the group outperforms the individuals who make up the group. Group polarization is the exaggeration of initial tendencies in the thinking of a group members through group discussion. Groupthink is a group decision-making style characterized by an excessive tendency among group members to seek concurrence. 3 contributions to groupthink include high cohesiveness, group structure, and stressful situations. Bias sampling is the tendency to discuss shared information rather than unshared information in a group setting. There are group support systems, such as computer programs, which are used to guide meetings and group work. A social dilemma is the notion that the pursuit of self-interest can sometimes be self-destructive. A prisoner's dilemma is an example of a social dilemma. It is when competitive moves between 2 parties cause both to suffer. Resource dilemma is when 2 or more parties have to share a limited resource. Negotiation. An interactive agreement is when outcomes of agreement are superior for all parties rather than equal division. Understanding cultural differences is vital for negotiation. It is inevitable for groups as well as people within groups to fall into conflict with each other. Recognizing a shared identity is one way to find common ground. In conclusion, this week's readings covered the topics of social influence and group processes. The 5 main concepts focused on in this presentation around these topics included conformity, obedience, group fundamentals, group performance, and conflict. Discussion question 1. Based on your understanding of conformity and obedience, define the difference between blind, destructive obedience and scriptural obedience. Based upon your understanding on this concept, when is it biblically justifiable to rebel to those in authority? Please use 1 academic source and 1 verse in your answer. Discussion question 2. How can your understanding on both conformity and group performance be applied to benefit your everyday work life? Please use 2 academic sources to support your answer.